Our study on sin, the origin of sin, part 2. Here are the primary ways that ancient cultures handled the concept of transgression before the Bible. Legal codes, offense and punishment. Long before the Ten Commandments, structured societies in Mesopotamia, modern Iraq, and surrounding areas had extensive written law codes that defined offenses and prescribed specific punishments. The Code of Hammurabi, Babylonia, c. 1750 BCE, is one of the most famous examples, predating the traditional dating of the Exodus. It meticulously lists crimes, theft, false witness, property damage, bodily injury, etc., and specifies consequences, including the famous principle of an eye for an eye, lex talionis. Concept of transgression. The focus here is on civil and criminal offenses, breaking the law of the king, who is divinely appointed to establish justice, and harming one's fellow citizen. While the king claimed divine authority, the focus was on social order and restitution. Older law codes, even older codes exist, such as the Code of Ur-Nammu, Sumerian, c. 2100 BCE, and the Law of Ashnuna, c. 1800 BCE, all of which established a formal written legal standard for offenses. 2. Religious concepts, impurity and displeasure. Ancient religious systems, particularly in Mesopotamia and Egypt, did not frame all wrongdoing as sin against a singular divine will, but rather an act that caused ritual impurity or incurred the displeasure of the various gods. Impurity, tumi, in some later traditions, certain actions could create a state of uncleanliness or imbalance that required rituals like purification rites or hare to restore harmony between humans, nature, and the gods. Divine anger. Gods were often seen as upholding certain standards like justice, truth, or order, and the violation of these standards, injustice, breaking an oath, could lead to the god withdrawing favor, causing natural disaster or afflicting the individual. The goal of the ancient religious practice was often to appease or perpetuate the angry deities. Ethics of welfare. Many ancient Near Eastern writings, including prologues to the law codes, emphasize that the king's duty was to destroy the wicked and the evil and ensure that the strong might not oppress the weak. This shows a clear, widespread ethical consciousness regarding social justice. In short, while ancient cultures had concepts of offense, crime, guilt, and ritual impurity, and feared divine retribution for injustice, the biblical notion of sin as an inherent state or a theological failure to meet the demands of one all-powerful, covenant-making God is what sets the concept apart. What about the Quran? Where did sin enter the world? Was it Satan again or some other source? That's a fascinating shift in perspective, moving into the teaching of the Quran. The Islamic understanding of sin and its entry into the world shares some key figures with the biblical account, but has some fundamentally different theological consequences. In Islam, the source of a sin is ultimately Iblis, often equated with Satan or Shaitan, and the first act of disobedience has 2 stages. I'm going to cut it here. I'll be right back.